Hello and welcome to another episode of In Conversation. Of course, well, today it's like, what are you doing at your big age? Because I'm with a person who's doing lots of amazing work, and of course, it is a non-profit making organization. The name of the organization is the Vaginal Care Initiative. I'm joined by the founder of this initiative, Alice Moleki. Alice, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, trust me, you make me shy. What am I doing at my age? I think we also here are wondering, how did you do it? But before we get into the gist of everything, can you tell me a little bit about your background and yourself?
So my name is Ofentse Alice Moleki. I'm 22 years old. I come from a family of 5. My mother, father, and my 2 sisters. In a small township called Mohlakeng in Ofentse. It's a background with mixed experiences, bad and good ones, but mostly good ones, because even though I'm faced with challenges, I always find a solution to the problem and keep going.
And keep going, indeed. And with that being said, I just want to understand the family dynamics. You are 5. Is it only females or you have brothers as well?
It's only females in our household and a distant brother. Yes, so it's only one brother and the rest is girls.
Yeah. And then how then did we come about to have the Vaginal Care Initiative? Of course, I'm sensing family and it's feminine already. What inspired you to come up with this initiative?
Well, I had a bad experience with the local clinic in my community. I was looking for feminine hygiene education because I was having a bad experience with contraceptives. And I found out that they only specialize with chronic illnesses such as cancer and HIV and AIDS. And such things as feminine hygiene education are basically ignored. And I was like, I'm not going to receive any help here, so I might as well look for help somewhere else. And I was forced to go to a private health practitioner, and I was supposed to pay. So exactly, the first thing that you think about is the local clinic where you won't be able to, where you won't be expected to pay anything. Unfortunately, I was forced to go and pay to a private medical practitioner because the local clinic didn't help with anything. And after having conversations with women in my community, I realized that it's not an experience that I was experiencing alone. There are other females with the same problem as well. So I decided to conduct research, to approach local health practitioners in my community, to verify the information first before we can form a non-profit organization. And I basically thought it would be a great idea for it to be a non-profit organization, since I couldn't afford the products myself. Why then make other people pay? So that's how the initiative came about.
It really hits home because it's from a personal experience and to find out other people are going through it. And how old were you at the time? I just want to locate that because it's the big age here.
I was 19 years old.
19 years old.
Yes.
And you felt the need to stand up and make a change.
Yes, because if nobody's going to make a change, then who? And it was such a taboo to talk about a female sexual reproductive organ. And I was like, it's time to decolonize the mind and start this initiative, because if we don't have such conversations, then how are we supposed to know? How are we supposed to receive the education?
Indeed. And as you said that you consulted with other ladies in your community, were they also maybe at the same age as you, or it's like maybe the others who are older and also they've gone through the same situations, but they couldn't come up with a solution to the problem?
Mixed ages. Same age as mine, older and even younger. Because contraceptives is something that people think maybe you take when you're older, but it's actually underage girls taking it because of the lack of education. So the initiative not only addresses these misconceptions, but we also provide the education for underage girls to refrain from consuming such medication, because it could also affect their bodies. So we do a lot more than feminine hygiene education.
Interesting. And yeah, because as you're saying, some topics are still taboo in our societies, because the minute you maybe speak of your contraceptives, it's like, assumption you're already
Exactly.
you're engaging in something, and the society still shuns down upon that. So, having done that at the age of 19, you come up with an NPO. What were the aims of it? Of course, you've established the problem, but what were your main aims, the mission of this initiative?
The main aim at that time
Yeah.
was to provide education on feminine hygiene.
Okay.
The aim was never to expand more on that. It was basically education.
Education, yeah.
And as I was gaining experience of being a founder and being the leader of an initiative,
Yeah.
it started to grow because there were more things to a female sexual reproductive organ than just feminine hygiene,
Indeed.
than just contraceptive, than
Yeah.
just sexual health. So that's how the initiative expanded, is because we found more information and we found that women experiencing other problems
Yeah.
with the same organ.
Again. And I want to also put you on the spot to the name itself. How did you come about the name, the Vaginal Care
Yeah.
Initiative? How did that come about?
I wanted it to be specific
Oh, yeah.
because it focuses on a specific body part. It's not feminine hygiene education that focuses on the female body in its entirety.
Yeah.
We wanted a specific area,
Yeah.
hence Vaginal Care Initiative.
It bullseye. It hits.
Yeah.
It tells you straight up that this is what we care about in this initiative. And now I want you to locate me. Like, okay, cool. You've experienced. You have came up with the idea. The NPO is registered. And then the recruitment process, how the ladies who, or the people, I'm sure you have males
Yes,
in the
yes.
team. So the team, how did the team come about? How did that come about? Did they feel the same cause, or did they feel the injustice, or do they feel that there's a gap that needs to be filled? How did that come about?
Okay, so initially we educate women, and after that we have an examination to put everything that you have been taught to the test. And then if you score the highest, then you are introduced with a position in the organization. Then it's up to you if you agree or disagree. And most of them agreed because they felt like they can take up a leadership role and also play a role in changing perspectives about a female sexual reproductive organ. But as soon as I registered with the community engagement, I was like, okay, let me approach people with community service experience.
Yeah.
And let's have a mixture of people in the executive committee so that we
Yeah.
can help each other grow and have other perspectives that can help the initiative expand. And then that's how I created a post to say these are the vacancies available, and a lot of graduates and university students applied.
And you're 22 at the time. I'll keep on saying, at your big age, what are we doing? But it's fine. So you having done that, what's the current structure of, I want to touch on the structure and then we move to the role that community engagement has played for the organization.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is the current structure of your organization?
So the current structure comprises of the media team, fundraising, the chairperson, myself, and volunteers as well, because when we do events, we want to have a lot of people who can assist on that specific day. So the structure doesn't exclude people who only want to participate at a specific time in the organization. So we are also flexible in that sense to say, even if you're not registered officially under the organization, you can still play a role. We don't want to force people to be part of the organization.
Yeah.
We allow people to participate in specific events because most people are passionate about different initiatives and not a specific one.
Indeed, indeed. And now, where do we fit in community engagement? As you said that as you registered under them or you started working with them, also it kind of opened doors and to more hands.
Yes.
More hands are better than one or two. So yeah, you got the numbers, you got people that can volunteer when they can to do good in society. So let's look at UJ community engagement in that.
So I started with community engagement in my second year of study because in my first year there was still COVID and we couldn't basically move around campus and do a lot of things. And then in my second year of study, which was in 2022, I approached the community specialists, Ms. Siling Mojaji, I didn't know anything. I was just a young girl having an NPO. I didn't even know that you were supposed to be registered. You're supposed to have an executive structure. And she provided all the education that I need when it comes to being a founder of an organization. And they provide resources and programs that will help you as a leader to make sure that your organization gets to where you intend it to be. And it also allows you to connect with other community development workers, so we can form partnerships and we can form different organizations so we can help the community in different aspects.
That is really mind-opening. You know, it's really rare to get such information, as you said, that UJ community engagement has granted you. You know, the processes of how to register a company, NPO, how do you branding? I'm sure also came into play. Maybe I should visit you guys. If you want some knowledge, let's go together to community engagement. So, with that being said, what are some of the projects that you guys have done, you know?
We have done a lot of projects because we are directed by the South African calendar. We follow the different themes, Youth Day, Women's Day, Menstrual Hygiene Month. So we go along with the calendar and we also form initiatives ourselves. For example, stepfathers, mothers who experienced miscarriages, mothers who unfortunately had to have an abortion due to personal reasons, mothers who did give birth, but unfortunately they couldn't receive proper feminine hygiene education after the birth. So we play around with different initiatives because we understand that not a lot of women are educated when it comes to hygiene.
And then what is your favorite project of them all?
My favorite project of them all is when we place a boy child and a girl child in the same place, so they can receive the same education at the same time, so we can erase the stigmas, the misconceptions, the miseducation. We can make conversations about a female sexual reproductive organ normal, so they don't feel stigmatized, so they don't follow this trend of males stigmatizing women on social media platforms, walking around with misconceptions, miseducations, and disrespecting women for what is natural. It's something that you cannot change. You have a vagina. You have to be educated. The people you are also around with have to be educated as well, so you won't feel stigmatized.
Indeed, education is key. You know, once you're educated, you make informed decisions. Before you can stigmatize someone, you're already educated. You understand the impact that can do to that person. And well, I sense a lot of growth, of course, at your age and with the great work that you're doing. What personal growth have you observed from yourself?
The personal growth that I've observed is with personal developmental goals, where when I started, it was only about myself, and then it went to other people, and then now it's about making change. The fact that it was a personal experience, I got to help other people, and now the people that I've helped are helping other people as well. So the growth made me realize that the role that I play in my community and for other people in other communities as well is very big, because they're able to receive the education, they can educate others, and they can feel free to have such conversations. Therefore, I did more than provide education. I decolonized the mind. I changed women in my era, women in my generation, to talk about such conversations.
And you're still going to continue to change. Trust me. With this age that you're having in the work, trust me, we're still going to have you for the next, I don't know, you're going to keep on changing. And with that, right, you're a student, you're doing your honors. Honors is one of the most difficult years of academics, in my view. And you're still holding on, but still you're running this initiative and you have a social life as well. How are you finding balance?
I'm finding balance with my time management skills. They are so spot on, to a point where people even ask themselves, where do you get the time? Time management. I spend time with my academics. spend time with my social life, my education. I make sure that I delegate my tasks according to my timetable, and also give myself time to rest as well. As much as we're doing this community service, we also need to be fit mentally, physically, psychologically as leaders, so we don't let our personal problems affecting our work.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, of course, our show is on Mondays, so we usually have a Monday motivation, but there's still a lot that I want us to unpack before you motivate people, because I was about to ask, for entrepreneurs, how then do they also navigate? But before I get into that, I just also want to understand the partners that you currently have, and then we move to the challenges. Maybe let's start with the challenges. What are some of the challenges that the initiative is facing currently?
The organization is facing challenges such as finances, and venues where we want to host our events, because some events need a proper stage, proper venue, capacity, so that people can have access to the education and fill in the place. We can't be hosting an event with a small number of people, because we want to make an impact. Also finances, where we need to get these products, make sure that it's something that will last our beneficiaries, so they won't struggle with other months to come in the year. So finances and venues where we can host our events is the problem, because they all require financial resources.
Yeah, indeed. And with that being said, what are some of the partnerships that you guys have formed that are at least assisting to alleviate some of those problems?
So community engagement is the main partner. So it offers us connections and contacts with other students with community service programs. So we have partnered with the Eye of Hope, founded by Kutlwano Malahlela. So they donate sanitary pads. Mudimuteng Foundation in my township, it's also a non-profit organization. They also provide sanitary pads to us. We also have partnered with students in the organization, but they don't have an established brand yet, but we still assist where we can, because we believe they can get there. And the male residents, Makawa residents at UJ, we go around schools in APK, and then we educate female learners as well as male learners. Then we donate sanitary pads. So we have a lot of partnerships with students in the community engagement.
And should there be anyone listening to us and is also keen on kind of contributing to the initiative, where and how can they get hold of you guys?
They can get a hold of us on our social media platforms, Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So we are very versatile. We're very flexible, because we're trying to move on with the
times.
The fourth industrial revolution.
Exactly.
So people can have access to us, because some of these social media platforms don't require data most of the time, so they can access Facebook free mode. They don't have to buy data to get a hold of us. Yes, and then the other social media platforms as well, they can still have contact with us without meeting us physically.
We're a digital era, so we must utilize that. So you have it, guys. If you want to reach out, sure do. We'll also kind of post it somewhere in this video. We had that favorite section of mine. So instead of word of the day, we have Monday motivation. So we don't have word of the day, but we need a Monday motivation. What's your word to a person that's listening to us? Word of encouragement, whether like, hey, Baba, it's tough, just leave it, then, or continue soldiering on. What's your motivation?
When I started, a lot of people asked questions. Why a vagina? Where did you get the speed? Where did you get that from? How can you even approach someone with such a topic? And my take is, why not? Why not? And then if not me, then who? If not now, then when? Because look at the change that I've made with all the negativity that I've turned into positivity. All the effort that I've put to make a change in my community, I've done it. And at a tender age of 19 years old, I was able to do this. If you are a teenager or a young person like myself watching this right now, you can also do it. Don't look at your age. Gone are the days where we take ourselves seriously at the age of 30 years old and then we're just living life in our 20s and in our teenage years. It starts now.
The time is now. It's like 2010 World Cup. This is the time. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Alice. That's really motivational, honestly.
Thank you for
I feel
having
like now is the time. But well, dear viewers, now is the time for us to end our interview. But of course, I got a lot of motivation. We can play a huge role to develop our society regardless of the age. You, if you're old enough, we can make decisions. We can also contribute. After all, we just came from the elections. We voted, yeah? We're eligible. Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode. My name is Bongani. I'll see you on the next episode.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.